Magandang araw! Sama-sama tayong matuto sa Teacher Sal Learning Resource Channel.
Revised K-12 Curriculum, English 5, Quarter 3, Week 1. Determining textual coherence between story elements. Stories can be compared to puzzles, with different pieces forming a complete picture. You will analyze key elements to improve your understanding of stories better. Story grammar. Think of this as a story's skeleton, a framework that holds all the essential elements. It's like a map that guides us through the story, helping us identify the characters, setting, problem, solution, and ending. Flashbacks. These are instances within a story where the narrative jumps back in time. They can provide important information about a character's past or explain current events. Making inferences. Stories sometimes do not directly convey all information. Readers must utilize clues and existing knowledge to infer or make educated guesses about the reasons behind events, characters, actions, or feelings. Can you think of a story you recently read or watched? Try to recall essential details, such as the main character and the setting. Did the story include any flashbacks? If so, what did you learn from them? Think of a moment in the story when something happened, but the reason must be clarified. What clues did the story provide to help you understand why it happened? Imagine yourself as a character in the story, acting scared. What details from the story or your understanding of the character could help you understand why you are scared? Activity: the more, the merrier. Watch carefully as I flash a dish on the screen. Each group will receive a sheet of paper. You will have 1 minute to write down all the ingredients of the dish. The group that lists the most correct ingredients will win the activity. Chop suey. Kalderetang baka. Pansit bihon. What did we just do in our activity? What do you think is the importance of note-taking? Are you practicing of writing important details from your subject on your notebooks? Why or why not? Let's begin by talking about what you already know about Chinese New Year. Who can share a story, tradition, or activity that your family or friends do during this celebration? Tell us what you know about Chinese New Year. What do people usually do? What foods do they prepare? What decorations do they use? Why are we talking about this? The activities we did earlier helped you notice important details. This skill, noticing and remembering details, will help you understand our main lesson today. Let's get ready for the main lesson. Use what you've learned from the previous talks. Let's see how your skill on observing details helps you in our new topic. Bring out your dictionaries. You will look for the meanings of the given words. After finding the meanings, write your own sample sentences using each word. For the words, we have neon monster, Chinese New Year, festival, tradition, legend, fireworks, lunar calendar, zodiac, renewal, prosperity. In the second column, you write the meaning. Third column, part of a speech. And for the fourth column, sample sentence. Elements of a short story focus on plot elements. When reading a story, it's important to pay attention to specific details that will help you understand the plot, characters, setting, and the overall message. Noting important details helps you comprehend and remember the story better. Remember, when noting important details, you must have your pencil or pen with you, your notebook and highlighters if available. Key elements to focus on. First one is characters. Who are the main characters? Identify the protagonist, main character, and the antagonist, character who opposes the protagonist. What are their traits? Look for descriptions of their appearance, actions, thoughts, and feelings. How do they change? Notice any changes in the character's attitudes or behaviors throughout the story. Setting. Where does the story take place? Pay attention to descriptions of the location and environment. When does the story take place? Note the time, period, season, or time of day. Plot. What is the main problem or conflict? Identify the central issue the protagonist faces. What are the key events? Summarize the main events in the order they happen. Look for the beginning, middle, and end. How is the conflict resolved? Notice how the problem is solved by the end of the story. Theme. What is the story's message or lesson? Think about what the author wants you to learn or understand from the story. Strategies for noting important details. Active reading. Ask questions. While reading, ask yourself questions about the characters, setting, plot, and theme. Make predictions. Try to predict what might happen next based on the details you've read. Annotating. Highlight or underline. Mark important sentences or phrases. Write notes. Jot down brief notes in the margins or on sticky notes. Graphic organizers. Story maps. Use a story map to organize information about characters, setting, problem, events, and resolution. Character charts. Create charts to track details about each character. Summarizing. Write summaries. After reading a section, write a brief summary of what happened. Retell the story. Practice retelling the story in your own words. The concept of flashbacking in a story. What is a flashback? A flashback is a literary device where the author interrupts the chronological order of a story to present events that happened in the past. Purpose of flashbacks: provide background information about characters or events, explain character motivations or actions, create suspense or add depth to the story. Identifying flashbacks: look for keywords like remembered, thought back to, or flashback to. Pay attention to changes in time markers. Example given: then, before, years ago. Analyzing flashbacks: determine why the author included the flashback. Consider how the flashback contributes to character development or plot progression. Think about the emotions or themes explored in the flashback scene. Types of flashbacks: character flashbacks focus on a character's past experiences, thoughts, or emotions. Event flashbacks revisit a significant event that occurred before the current timeline of the story. Historical flashbacks provide historical context or background information relevant to the story. Dream or vision flashbacks show events or thoughts imagined by a character. Watch carefully the video of the story The Neon Monster by Andrea Wong. Pay attention to the characters, events, and important details in the story. Setting and characters. Where does the story take place? Who is the main character in the story? Describe the neon monster. What makes it scary? Plot and events. Why does the neon monster come out of the sea every year? What does the neon monster threaten to do if it is not stopped? How does the main character try to stop the neon monster? Problem and solution. What challenges does the main character face while trying to defeat the neon monster? What clever ideas does the main character use to trick the neon monster? Themes and messages. What do you think is the main message or lesson of the story? How do bravery and cleverness play a role in the story? Details and understanding. What traditional elements of Chinese New Year are mentioned in the story? How do these elements help in stopping the neon monster? What are the different scenes there that depict flashbacks in the story? Activity: identify me. Create your own story grammar comprising all the different elements of a short story based on the story The Neon Monster by Andrea Wang. Write true if the statement is true and false if otherwise. The neon monster is a friendly creature who helps the villagers. False. The story The Neon Monster is set during the Chinese New Year celebration. True. The neon monster fears loud noises and the color red. True. The villagers in the story use fireworks and red decorations to scare away the neon monster. True. In the story, the neon monster is defeated by a group of brave children. True. Chinese New Year is also known as the Spring Festival. True. Chinese New Year is celebrated on the same date every year, according to the Gregorian calendar. False. The Chinese zodiac is based on 12 animals, each representing a year in a 12-year cycle. True. The color red is associated with good luck and prosperity in Chinese culture. True. During Chinese New Year, families gather to enjoy a special meal called jiazi. True. The Lantern Festival marks the end of the Chinese New Year celebrations. True. Chinese New Year is a one-day festival. False. The neon monster symbolizes renewal and new beginnings in Chinese folklore. True. Chinese New Year is based on the lunar calendar. True. Firecrackers are commonly used during Chinese New Year to ward off evil spirits. True.